So you all probably remember in high school, all the jocks that played football or soccer and stuff, they used to always boast about all the bad games they had, remember? They used to brag every time they lost a game, you know, every time they missed that touchdown or missed their shot in basketball, missed their free throws or whatever. I don't. And I think there's a reason why we don't remember those. Is a quote by W.I.E. Gates: "Victory has 100 memories, but defeat has amnesia." When you're in a sport, you don't sit there and talk about all the bad times you had, all the shots you missed. You sit there and brag about all the victories you got, all the scores you made, all the points you got, and all the defeats. You kind of keep that under the table and forget about it. I'm going to talk about how I've done this in my life and how it's repeated itself, and also how it's happened in history. So in skateboarding, of course you guys all know I skate. When I go and brag to my friends about tricks I've landed, new just tricks I've done down stair sets, I don't sit there and talk about the 50 times I fell before I landed it. I just talk about how clean it was and how steezy I looked rolling away after doing it. And that's all they remember. They don't go, oh, he probably ate crap like a bunch of times and he has cuts and bruises all over him. But no, he landed the trick, and that's all they need to know. Again, I used to play football too. And so when people used to ask me about, oh yeah, you play football? Yeah, I used to make touchdowns all the time. I was a star running back and receiver on my team. They don't know about all the fumbles or interceptions that were on me. They don't know about those. They don't know about when I used to make plays and only get a yard or two, even though sometimes that can be helpful. But I just tell them about the touchdowns I've made or the super far kickoff returns I've done, and that's how they remember me. They don't remember all my faults and all the bad things I did in football. They just remember how good I was. And that's what we kind of like. It's kind of like amnesia. They don't need to know the bad parts, all the defeats. But also, if you have grandparents like my grandfather, he served in the Vietnam War. And if you talk to those older people, they're kind of proud of serving our country. And they tell you about how we kicked the Viet Cong's ass, and they tell you all their good war stories and stuff. But we really technically lost that war, if you didn't know. They won't let you know that. They will make you believe that we were the best and we won, because they don't want to think that they lost. They don't want to believe that and remember that it was actually a pretty terrifying war and we lost. So they make you believe we won. So I believe that this quote, that victory has 100 memories but defeat has amnesia, is 100% accurate. That we like to believe and remember all the good times, all the wins we've had in life, and the defeats, we kind of hide them, and we don't want to think about them anymore because they make us feel bad. So it's kind of like amnesia, where we don't remember our losses.
To go home with this, I looked in the camera like at the end of my speech and said this, and I'm like, just like, no. Yeah, you do.
Everyone's watching my
So, oh, it's so funny. Travis getting irritated for like 5 minutes. She comes to the news and she finally stopped, and then I started thinking, you're sick.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
Okay, stop, Sam. Stop.
All right, the visualization at the beginning was kind of awkward, which was the point that you were making, and I thought that that was kind of creative, and you transitioned the quote very effectively with a nice inversion of what you were saying. You take it in a very direct and literal way, and I thought that that's okay because you found a couple of interesting things to talk about. There was a solid preview of the content. The content is nice because you've got personal stories that you can tell about your skateboarding and your football activities, and then you've got the other one that you use with your uncle talking about their experience in Vietnam, and you make a broader general statement about those kinds of things. So I thought that you developed the concept pretty effectively there. Presentation-wise, your voice projects reasonably well. There are a couple places where it trails off. I mentioned it at the exit. It sounds like you kind of gave up on the last sentence, and I'm not exactly sure why. I think you were doing a good job, but I guess you just, well, I'm done, that sort of thing, and it just peels down a little bit. Otherwise, it flowed very smoothly. There were lots of good indicators and gestures. You're very animated with your facial expressions when you're talking to us. Your eye contact is solid. You tend to look around at everybody. You don't necessarily, I don't know that you always seem engaged with everybody, but you're trying to engage with them. And you stand pretty confidently when you're speaking to us, so I thought that was effective as well. All right, thank you.